Guten Tag, meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren. Es freut mich sehr, Sie hier begrüßen zu dürfen. Ich präsentiere 50 plus Döner.
Good morning, y'all.
Good fucking morning, y'all. Did everyone have a good weekend? I know I did. I know I had a great weekend. How about you, B-Flam?
I had a pretty good weekend. It was a solid weekend. Um, a lot of good soccer to go around.
Yeah, a
Both
lot of
Saturday
good
and
soccer
Sunday.
to go around. 100% correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was everyone's weekend? I hope it was a good one. We're going to start off the show and end the show by saying if you are in the Chicago area, we will be hanging out with the Stuttgart supporters. Apparently, every Bundesliga uh, team in Chicago, like group in Chicago, is sending a representative to this game. So, our Clios, where we'll be watching the DFB Pokal final. We're going to be doing a pre-show and post-show so that we don't get murdered for having game audio in it. But feel free to come through. It'll be fun. We're just going to jump right into it because this is going to take the entire show. I promise you, this is going to take the entire show. This is our most ambitious project yet. The Bundesliga watchability rankings. We are absolutely yoinking this from Tom Bogart, who did it for MLS. We did change some certain things. And then we also have a grade overall for their season at the end. And yes, we will be going in alphabetical order. To go over the criteria, we have quality, self-explanatory, identity of like, oh, do they have like a identity about the way they play, right? Like Gladbach is like putting crosses in the box and hoping Tim Kleindienst hits it with his head into the goal. Atmosphere, self-explanatory. Gumbo potential is the game you're gonna if you're watching this team, are they gonna fuck it up at the end? Dortmund fans look away. Well, they didn't really gumbo a whole lot this year.
They didn't gumbo. They just
Straight
had.
up lost.
Yeah.
Must see players. Are there players on the team that you absolutely must watch? And then meme ability, is the game they're playing going to be a Classico or an absolute meme game? And then we're just going to grade their season overall, not in terms of watchability, just like how did they do. Are you ready, B-Fun?
I'm ready.
Augsburg. I have to also remember how Augsburg finished. I'm not going to lie to you. Bundesliga. Oh, wow. I switched to Firefox, so I have to zoom in on everything again. Where's this table at? There we go. All right, Augsburg. They finish in 12th. I do remember them being on quite a run, though, at some point. Like, this is kind of a... The fact that they are not down here is actually a modern-day miracle. But we'll look at how they did. They fucked up all year and then clutched up at the end. I almost feel like that is every team in the fucking league this year. How do you feel, B-Flum?
Uh,
Oh, you know what we can do?
what can we do?
Table by minutes.
True.
Let's set this bitch to last 15 minutes. And Augsburg's just down where they are normally. It
Yeah,
didn't really
pretty much.
change. Oh, wait, no,
There was a pocket of the season though where we were thinking, hey, maybe Augsburg is onto something, but then it kind of petered out. But they overall, if I'm going,
Jesus, bro. Hold on. Let me get ad blocker on this shit real quick.
yeah,
God.
it's bad. We really should be giving Manuvet our money, but we're broke. Anyway, like there was a pocket, there was a good pocket of the season where they went unbeaten, like towards the middle, but
Yeah, they almost look like they were gonna hit Europe.
yeah. Like they had like between January 15th and March between the month. They didn't lose between January 15th and March 29th.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to show. You kind of have to not look at the table, but if you look down here, like they went on an unbeaten streak for almost 2 months. They had a pretty good season. Let's move the grade over here actually. Hold on. I already told B-Flum, my brain is just not in it today, bro. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on. Alright. I'm gonna give them like a B-. Like, I don't think this was a fantastic season for them. I think when you look at probably their expectations, I don't think they even thought they would even be touching was this 8th. Like, that last half of the season was really big, but I just don't think that neutrals out how awful they were in the first half of the season. And then they also didn't end very well either. So I don't think it was like an A+ season. I think they're just, we always make fun of Augsburg for just their goals are just let's not get relegated, and they secured that very early. But like, it wasn't a fantastic season, wasn't a bad season.
I would agree on the B-. I think if they finished the season out a little more consistent than they did, it would have been maybe like a B+, A- range. But I think towards the end of the season, they were like, you know what? We got where we needed to be.
I think pretty much, like, if you look at their schedule, probably as soon as they were secured not getting relegated, they had to have hit this point.
Yeah.
They just said, fuck it. Watchability. Finn Dahmen was great. The rest of the team had occasional flashes of competence. That's also the other thing that fucked them up is Finn Dahmen was literally the only consistently good team player on the team. And when your goalkeeper is just fighting for their life every game, that's not a recipe for success. Quality, not good.
No.
This is not a quality team. But they do have a strong identity of not being very good. Or just like defensively strong.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I was going to say their quality wasn't like fantastic. It like they were in 11th place. But that stretch of 10 games, 10, 12 games in those 2 months, you were not scoring on Augsburg. Like they had some type of devil magic where you weren't getting one past them. So, I mean,
if you look at this, like the amount of goals that they conceded just in general, other than fucking Kiel for some reason, they did not really let in a whole lot.
No.
This is their table by minutes. That is major gumbo potential. Oh my god. All right. Atmosphere. Their atmosphere is kind of boo-boo, so I'm going to give it a 5. Do you agree?
I agree.
Gumbo potential, we already saw.
We saw that. That was a solid 9 at the least.
Must-see players, that's a solid 1.
Yeah.
And that 1 stands for Finn Dahmen. And then memeability, they are one of the most memeable teams in the league. So there we go. Bayern. I almost want to. I'm interested to hear what you think on Bayern.
All things considered, I would say A-, and I would say that because, of course, they won the Bundesliga, so that's automatically going to put them pretty high, especially with it being Vincent Kompany's first season.
Yeah.
Him coming off of a relegation team with Burnley, coming in and doing the complete opposite, winning the Bundesliga with Bayern, is big. Granted, the Bundesliga was fairly weak this year, all things considered.
Yeah.
but I would say A minus is not like an A plus or an A because they didn't do as hot in Champions League and in
Yeah.
Pokal.
Oh, Pokal. I mean, bro. There really is no way they should still be losing. Like, there's no way they should be not in, like, the semifinals every time.
Yeah.
Also,
And
I'm
they're-
interested in how many points did Leverkusen have last year to win the league? 90, and they had... Oh, wrong table.
82.
But they did lose almost... They did win every game. So that's...
They did win. Bayern lost 2 games this year.
And then
In the
if
Bundesliga.
Leverkusen hadn't done that, then 73 would have been... So they improved on last year, which isn't saying much, because last year they were not very good and didn't make good decisions. But is their Pokal performance weighted too? Absolutely, which is why I cannot give this an A. But B+, I think just like Champions League and Pokal really were their struggle points. But the league-wise, I'm very happy with Company's way of getting into this. Because Lord have mercy, he was getting fucking grilled to start the season. Like, people were like, oh, he's going from Burnley to this, like, can he handle the pressure? And that's a valid concern, but I think people were being a little nasty with it even. And then he improved on last year. And if they had done better in literally any one of their other competitions, I'd give it an A. Especially considering they had so many fucking injuries too. But it's at best a B+.
I hate to be a Bayern defender here, but I will say the round of 16 Pokal matchup, they went out to Leverkusen.
But they also played awful that game. But
they did play awful that game.
I guess that is the one where
it was a 1-0 to Leverkusen, which it's still Bayer Leverkusen. They're still coached by Xabi Alonso. They didn't have their best year this year, but I mean, it's still. I would say it's still Leverkusen. That's why I'm not weighing this Pokal performance as much, because it's not like I wouldn't say they got upset in that. It was still Bayer Leverkusen.
But for me, I think this was supposed to be such a bounce back year, and like even if they are Leverkusen, and even if that was a game where Manuel Neuer went rogue and just fucking wrecked Frimpong, I just expected a better performance out of them in one of the competitions, right?
Yeah.
All right. Quality, I think 9.
9 is fair, yeah.
Identity, 10, like they're buying. Atmosphere. What do you say for atmosphere?
I wouldn't say it was one of the more intimidating atmospheres this year. I would still give it it's not on Augsburg's level at all. I would still give it like a 7.
I was about to say 7. Gumbo potential. What's their gumbo looking like? No, definitely not. They're closing out those fucking games. Oh wait, we have to reverse these. Like it's kind of like a golf score. Like 10 means that you have.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We got, I guess, gumbo resistance. What is it? That's not how you spell that. Anyway, whatever. Must see players. I mean, 5, right? Mike Olise. I don't know how Kane got player of the year.
He did?
Yeah. Olise was a fucking monster.
Muller for his last season, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what you're getting with the other Bayern players, though. Like, it's been the same core for so long. Like, Sané, Kimmich, Gnabry.
Not gonna lie, I was skeptical of Company after Burnley gig, but I think he took it in stride and gave him his flowers. I mean, I think people temporarily forgot he played for Manchester City at their peak, so that guy can handle pressure.
Yeah.
Memeability, like a 2. I wouldn't say they were ultra memeable, but
no,
They did have their meme moments, like losing to Bolcom at home, which never gets any less funny. Gumboing it too. They dropped a lead in that.
I think we should raise the gumbo resistance to 1 just for that.
It can't be. It's got to be like a 2. That by itself is 2. Bolcom. All right.
Before we get into that, can we grade 50 plus matchmaker for this season?
Absolutely not.
Well, I would. To be fair, it started low and then improved for both teams.
True.
So I solid C maybe.
Yeah. Maybe C, like B minus.
B minus.
Because Bremen almost did get into Europe, so.
Yeah.
Bolcom. I mean, bro.
Yeah, put me there too.
Wait, let's deep dive into Bolcom real quick. No, they were just. I struggle with Bolcom because they did have a stretch where they looked like they were gonna get out. Oh no, I don't know where you would think that would happen.
Actually, you know what? Give me D minus because they did beat Bayern away.
I guess that does single-handedly raise it. Yeah. Oh, it was like this stretch where they looked like they were getting out, and then they fell back to earth. I'm gonna keep it as an F. Like, I don't know. I don't think anyone expected Bolcom would stay up in the beginning of the year. Like, if you looked at everyone's table prediction, pretty much everyone had them getting relegated. I just thought when they changed managers, they would show a little bit more fight. Like, not beating Heidenheim is rough. Not beating Hoffenheim at that point is rough. Not beating Kiel is rough. Did they even beat Kiel at all? No, they didn't get a single point against Kiel or Hoffenheim. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, Ray Liotta, bro, you are insane. But you are right. All right.
That was correct.
Everyone picture Ray Liotta real quick. Bro. Man, what the hell? Actually, no, I can't give it an F. I think you do have to respect that Ray Liotta did almost save the season, but we all made fun of him last year. Like 13 players left Bolcom at the end of last season. So they can only do so much, but still, you can't give them like an A or something for getting relegated. Anyway. No. Quality 1. Identity 1. Atmosphere 8. They had a good home atmosphere.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Gumbo resistance. Oh.
0.
Must-see players 0. Meme ability 5. So they got 15 out of like 50 points. Jesus. Ooh.
It was a good one.
Bremen.
Meme ability chum bucket. Alright, Werder Bremen.
They had such a crazy season. I don't even know what to say about their season. Look at this shit. It's the definition of up and down. It's a literal roller coaster.
I don't know if I will give Bremen to another person on Matchmaker after this. This is not for the faint of heart.
No, this is not for the faint of heart at all. I mean, it's just so up and down. Look at this shit, man.
How do you live through this? They went unbeaten for the last month and a half of the season, though.
And they did all right in the Pokal, except they just ran into the fucking Grim Reaper. I gotta give this a B. I think in previous, around that point where they lost to Bielefeld and they looked like they were gonna just fucking fuck up everything, I would have given them less. But this stretch, but does it like reverse their season as a totality?
I would say C plus, because if they have their act together at any other point of the season, they're in Europe right now.
And it's so crazy because I feel like that's like, we're gonna say that about so many other teams.
We are about to say that about a lot of teams.
I'm gonna give them a B, but I'm not super. Who did they lose against? Like, what's
Bayern, Freiburg, Gladbach, Frankfurt, Leipzig, Augsburg.
So they did
Bayern
lose
again,
to like
Hoffenheim,
yeah,
Wolfsburg. Their worst losses against Hoffenheim.
right. So everyone else was like a top half team.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna keep that B ranking. Quality. I think about as out. No. 7, I think.
7, yeah.
Identity. I think their main issue is that they didn't have one. So I think I'm gonna give that a 5. Their atmosphere is one of the best in the league, so gotta give them a 9 there.
9.
Gumbo resistance. Let us consult.
Let's consult the table.
Pretty gumbo resistant.
Pretty
actually.
good.
Pretty
That's
good.
solid.
That's like 8.
Yeah.
Must see players like other than Marvin Duksh. Not really. I don't. 2.
I can't name anyone off the top of my head.
They had like
Mitchell Weiser,
Oliver
maybe?
Burke. They had Mitchell Weiser. They've got some good ones, but like must see, I don't think so. And then memeability, like kind of middle of the road. We're making not good time on this because I think we're gonna have to do 2.Bundesliga another weekend or week. Here we go. Dortmund.
Good old Dortmund.
This might take up most of the show here because I don't know. I really don't know. I truly do not know. What do you say to this year?
Jesus Christ.
Wear a random
Wear
scarf.
a random scarf. I'm gonna grab the one that's right here. I don't know what you say because, like, on one hand, like, it started off as, like, as close to rock bottom as you can get without relegation. But they're still in Champions League.
Right.
um,
And, like, I got grilled by this, too. Of, like, saying that they sneaked into Champions League, which, factually, they literally did not get until the last day. And it's because Frankfurt beat the shit out of Freiburg. I don't know if I don't know if you can call this a good season still. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can. Because, one, you fucked up in the Pokal. Like, this is unexcusable. And even though they did well, like, they did pretty good in Champions League, they were in 12th at one point, right? Or 11th. Like,
they're 11th.
I don't, like, for Dortmund's quality, I don't know if I can call this an A that they snuck into Champions League, or, like, even a B+. I think Dortmund fans the Dortmund fans that I've seen online who are argumentative, I just can't see how you can call this, like, a successful
think
season.
from March 30th on, you can call it an A+. Like,
yeah, oh yeah, not doubting that at all.
Not doubting that. Before that, everything before that, I would honestly say F for Dortmund standards.
Wow.
So
that averages out to like a C then.
that would average out to a C. I mean, like, you honestly, I'd say C+, and here's why. I feel like for the before stated reasons for the Bundesliga, they absolutely fumbled in the Pokal There's no excusing that because I don't. Whatever demons Dortmund was fighting against, as road like coughing babies.
Oh yeah.
How do you roll over to Wolfsburg at home? Wolfsburg do not win at home this year.
No,
it just didn't happen. The only saving grace for them and why I'm adding the plus is because they actually went out with a fight in Champions League.
Yeah.
Like they were never gonna beat Barcelona. They had no business being in the fucking quarterfinal the way they were playing before.
No.
So, I mean, that's the only thing keeping it at like a C+ for me. But man, if they repeat this season next year, it's gonna be lower. It's gonna be lower. But I think Kovac has instilled some form of stability within the group at this point. Granted, it's only a 2-month stretch, so we'll see if they can sustain that throughout an entire season. And knowing it's Dortmund, they probably won't. But who knows? Plus,
I feel like Dortmund seasons live and die in the summer, so we'll have to see what they do in the summer now, which is infinitely easier now that they're in Champions League. But B-, they did okay in the Champions League, and they managed to qualify for next year after being dire for such a long time. I'm not going to lie to you as well. Maybe you can consult this table. Champions League, last position is 63 points. How many did Dortmund end with?
It was like
57.
7.
So, by their standards, they would have finished in Europa League. They just lucked out by the season being so tight it all over. If it was any other season, they would have been fucked. Watchability. Quality. I don't think they're not a quality team. They just were not coached well for the vast majority of the season. So I almost want to say an 8. They have good players. They just didn't get coached well.
Okay. Yeah.
No?
I would have said like 6 or a 7, but
a 6? You're saying that Dortmund has as much quality as Augsburg?
Okay, you know what? Good point. Good point.
Bro, that would be insane. Identity, I also think they suffered by not having one, really. I feel like it changed by the game.
It did change by the game.
Atmosphere, we'd be remiss.
Yeah.
Gumbo resistance, fairly gumbo resistant. Oh, yeah, I think Snave said it earlier. On the grand scale, this year was oh my god. This year was Dortmund's anti-gumbo year. It really was. They didn't have a whole lot of gumbo spillage. They would just straight up lose the game. So it was 4. Must-see players, I think this is a 5 because
wouldn't gumbo resistance be like 6?
Oh yeah, my bad. 5, I think they still have fantastic play. Maybe a 4.
Well, let's think about this, because when Girassi snuck in to that goal race somehow, some way, Adeyemi's still like the fastest player on the team.
Who is like a must-watch on Dortmund?
It was Jamie Gittins at the beginning, but he
what the fuck happened to him?
I don't know.
Maybe
he just didn't fit as well. If Jamie Gittins was like consistent throughout the season, I would argue that would be higher. But honestly, I'd say 3.
Okay, I was gonna say 3. Meme ability, they're Dortmund, so 5.
Yeah.
Frankfurt.
Ooh.
Eintracht Frankfurt. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, they did end in 3rd. Okay.
Yeah, they ended in 3rd.
How the fuck did they end in 3rd?
Beating Freiburg on the last day.
Yeah. Oh. Man, this season was just so messed up. It truly was so messed up. This might be a hot take. This may be a hot take. I'm saying A.
I was honestly inclined to agree.
50 plus agree again. What the
50
hell?
plus agree.
Oh, whoops. Bro. For a team that lost their best player in the middle of the season, this was a fantastic season. And also, what is this wasn't Dino Topmuller's first year, but it's his second. Right?
So. I think so. Let me see.
Jake learns Google Sheets on live stream. Okay, Angelo, chill out. Yeah, it's his second season.
Yeah. Okay.
We've never qualified for Champions League through league. That is true. So for a coach in his second year, and this is like his first big job. His other head manager position was in fucking Luxembourg. So, like, for someone who is still getting used to being in a big league, for losing their best player, for having the defensive injuries they had, the fact they finished in third is absolutely incredible.
Yeah. I would just echo everything that you're saying, but I feel like all things considered, I feel like for me personally, the game match day 34 between Freiburg and Frankfurt would have been like the competition to see who, for me personally, relatively would have had the best season in the Bundesliga by their standards. And since Frankfurt won, I think they, all things considered, even though they kind of petered off after Marmoush left, I think they can be very happy with where they finished in third.
And they did well in Europa League too. Like this isn't that bad. They lost to the champion, which champion is a legal title. That last game was atrocious. But they had a pretty, and they lost to Leipzig, who are just always good in the Pokal. Like there's not really a whole lot to do there. Yeah, I think they had a pretty decent season, all things considering. Their strikers get all the attention, but their defense was really underrated. Abso-fucking-lutely, man. Whoever came in to play defense for Frankfurt, just stepped their fucking game up and got it done. And their midfield was fantastic as well this year. So, like, Mario Götze had such a good season. Oh my goodness. Quality, I think a 9. Like, I can't think of a player who like played fucking awful on Frankfurt. Maybe Santos as a goalkeeper, but this was his first chance to. Identity 8.
Yeah.
It probably would have been a 10 if they kept Marmoush.
Yeah, it would have.
Atmosphere, I'd be remiss.
Has to be a 10.
Gumbo resistance, pretty gumbo resistant.
Also probably a 6, yeah.
See, this Frankfurt had a pretty decent year, man. I think this is a 4 still, even without Marmoush, because
Ekitike?
He fucking is great. Like, I always messes up his name, Tietre or something. I always say theater on accident. He had a great season. Like, Goldstein was playing off. Nathaniel Brown was good. Like, they had a shit ton of really good players this year. Memeability.
I say like
a 1.
They weren't too memeable. Yeah. They weren't. I wouldn't say they were memeable at all, to be honest.
If they had dropped to 6, that would be a 5. And we go to the other team. Oh, Teat. Oh, damn. I really mispronounced that shit. Teat is one of the signings of the season. So, all in all, great. And then we go to the other. We basically could say the same exact thing for Freiburg.
Yeah. I would say because they didn't qualify for Champions League, I would probably say A-, but I would still be happy with Europa if I was Freiburg.
Here's why I'm giving them an A2. They had a coach that had been coaching them for 12 years, 13 years. So this identity thing almost was like a 1 going into the season, right? They had, even though Schuster was in the organization and all that stuff, this is still his first coaching job ever, right? So for him to have stepped into this and get this team to Europa League, that's nuts. That really is crazy to do in your first season as a head manager.
Pulled him up from 10th place as well.
Yeah. Like that, I think this is an A for them easily. You know? Like, I think it would have been an A plus if they got in the Champions League, obviously. But I don't think you can look at... I can't look at the season and give them any lower than a B. Plus. Also, look at who they lost to. Just consistently, like... Oh, Jesus. Okay, not that. But just, like, Bayern over and over again. Like, Dortmund. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, top teams. Vincenzo Grifo and Richie Duan were terrific. Bro, if Dortmund snags Duan, I'm going to be so mad. I'm going to be so pissed off. Man, Flem didn't do the way too early predictions. I can't check receipts. Yeah, you are a little bit of a draft dodger.
I was late on that. I won't lie. I did miss the drop of that.
What are you giving them?
A minus.
Quality. I think an 8 or 9.
Yeah, agreed.
Identity.
They were bossing that midfield, I'll tell you what.
They're bossing the fuck out of that. That's an 8. Atmosphere, I don't want to say 10. I think it's like an 8.
Yeah.
Atabolu was great for a stretch. They had a good defender whose name is escaping me now. Let's find out. Because I also am forgetting to. Do you think we can get a family and friends discount on Transfermarkt?
Hopefully. Lucas Kubler, are you thinking of?
I think it might be that. Rosenfelder played his ass off too, actually, when he got in. Nines North will let us know when he gets there. Gumbo Resistance. Damn, they dropped the Gumbo a ton.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay, well. Oh, no. Must-see players. I don't know if they had... no, they were bossing the fuck out of that midfield.
Riston, Vincenzo Grifo.
Yeah, this midfield they have is insane. Osterhage, too. Whenever he gets in, he's awesome. Eggestein. This midfield's just...
Yeah, and that midfield is nasty.
Vesta was out for most of the point that he was in. Like, Dinchi didn't play a whole lot. Like, they actually had a very quality squad. And minimum ability, that's like a fucking 1.
1.
Gladbach. 10th? That's how crazy the season was. I'm gonna preface it with
45 points.
I'm gonna preface it with this. What? They were down here last season. Right? Like,
yeah.
they were a point away from being in the relegation playoff. And they ended in 10th in a very competitive season. So I don't think I could give them an F just because they're keeping Sione. That is insane. I'm going to say like a B-. Because they improved on last year. They beefed up they should have done better with this roster. They vastly improved their roster from last season, and they finished in 10th. So
I would also say C. Firstly, I would like to point out that all season we were saying that they were the measuring stick team, and they finish in 10th place, which is the perfect spot for a measuring stick team.
Is that a watch 50 plus donor moment?
Honestly, yeah.
Right, yeah?
Honestly, yeah.
That was
It was like it was literally one spot off of the middle of the pack, so.
And who finished in 9th?
Stuttgart. 5 points ahead.
Yeah, that's a watch 50 plus donor moment for sure. Let's see. Where did their season get fucked? Oh,
The end.
The
end. 1-1 draw against St. Pauli.
Oh yeah.
3 losses on the including. Can I just say the games against Holstein Kiel and Hoffenheim were instant classics.
They were.
Those were back and forth games. Both games where Gladbach spilled the gumbo. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. No, they were playing their ass off up until here. And I think that's just because Sione is just... How the fuck has he not been fired yet? They really looked at what Leverkusen did after they fired him and were like, we'll make it work. Quality, I think they were a very quality team. It's almost like mirroring Dortmund this is not the coach for them. It's just not. I think they should get Favre or Marco Rose in there. Feels like they can never get out of second gear. They did get out of second gear. They just dropped back to first at the end of the race. Their engine stalled out. Like, look at how close they were in all of those games. If you turn, like, even 2 of those to wins, they probably would have made Europe. Right?
Like, it would have been close.
51 point. Oh, yeah, they would have been close. Anyway, identity.
Or like if you beat Kiel, if you beat Hoffenheim, if you beat Wolfsburg, you're in Europe.
And even turn this into a draw.
Yeah.
Atmosphere, I feel like we're just going to be giving them 7s. They do have a okay atmosphere. Gumbo potential, there's no way that they're middle of the road. Must-see players. I don't think their must-see players really stepped up, so I do want to say it's like a 2.
Yeah.
Then
Team ability, it's Gladbach.
It's Gladbach, so... Wait, that means... Wait, the way we have this, their watchability rank... Oh, I guess they did watchability. It's not, like, goodness.
Yeah.
Would you... Okay, just as in a review... Would you say that Freiburg's, like, game by game is as watchable as Freiburg's was?
Frankfurt at game by game as Freiburg?
Gladbach and Freiburg.
Gladbach and Freiburg.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Because, like, for me, I think Gladbach played to the other team's level as the measuring stick.
And I almost feel like Freiburg did that in a way too.
Freiburg did do that in a way, but also there were points when you're watching a Freiburg game where their quality really stood out as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, man.
Heidenheim.
I'd honestly put an asterisk on this, depending on how Monday goes.
I still think, regardless of relegation playoffs, I knew they were going to get fucked up being in European Conference League. I still was not expecting them to almost be relegated.
Yeah, I feel like it. Yeah, I feel like it's a C, leaning on a C minus if they get relegated.
Yeah.
On Monday,
they tried so hard in European Conference League, it screwed up their league position. They were playing their fucking ass off in that first part of European Conference League. Like, bro, look at that. They didn't lose a game for the first 3 games. And then it just bottomed out.
Yeah.
They even moved on in the group. Okay, okay, I'm going to upgrade this to C. Plus.
I'm sticking at C.
Like, just for a team to get to your first European competition, it's your second year in the Bundesliga. No, their second year in the Bundesliga. you lost your best player, Nicholas Besta. Yeah, they lost 2 of their best players. I'm gonna call it a C+. I don't think you can give a team in a relegation playoff a B, but I think they're bordering on it. In fact, if they do survive, I think I would give them a B-. Quality, I have a hot take. I think they do have quality. They have 2 Bayern prospects that are just sitting on the fucking team right now. They're just not playing very well.
Yeah.
I think they lost their identity from last year of being like a fucking awful team to play against.
Oh, yeah.
Part of their problem. Actually, let's take a look at this real quick. They did not win a whole lot this year. Jesus Christ.
Nope.
And, like, none of those wins are very impressive. Like, Mainz was kind of struggling at this point when they beat them. Yeah.
It is. It's
Wow.
not great.
Atmosphere, 7 or 8. What did I put for this? 5. Gumbo resistance, what we got here? Not very gumbo resistant.
Not very gumbo resistant.
So like 3, and must-see players like 1.
Yeah.
Meme ability, though.
I wouldn't even want a meme on Heidenheim. That's the problem.
Yeah. Hoffenheim, holy moly.
Shit.
F. I'm giving them an F. I don't care. I don't care.
D-. They didn't get relegated.
The fact that this team, I'm consulting this again, people forget, they were in Europa League. Do you remember this? Does anyone remember them being in Europa League? No.
No.
They didn't do anything right this year. They didn't do anything, and they did well in the Pokal because they kept playing lower league teams. Dildo speech means autumn. Yeah, this was absolute meme era Hoffenheim. The fact that they did not get relegated is a fucking mystery to me. I don't know how. I don't know what. I don't know. And this is a team that just has the resources to not do this. They have Andre Kramaric. How the fuck are you down here?
Finished a mere 3 points off of the relegation playoff.
It's baffling. Where was their goal difference? Yeah,
Minus 22.
They're scoring so many fucking goals, and they just give up a shit ton. I don't know why that makes me so mad. Quality, that's the issue. They have quality on their team. Let's look at this shit.
I did say D-, by the way, not D.
Oh. D-? I had a D-.
Oh, okay. I'm blind. Ignore me.
Look at this shit. Club legend. Incredible. Well, I guess there's a question mark on that. Extremely good player. Good player. Okay player. Good player. Good player. You didn't use this guy very well. The best player on your team, he's left. He left. He's gone now. That's how you left off having Tom Bischoff. Bro. Good player. Incredible player. Incredible player. Good player. Like, how the fuck? I don't. Oh, my God. All right, anyway. Their identity was being ass.
Their identity was Andre Kramaric or bust.
Their atmosphere is a 0.
0.
Actually, it's a 1 because the away fans would be. Kind of surprised Baumann is still getting caught up. He's giving up some howers. It's so interesting that the German goalkeeper position was the most competitive position in the world until this year. Gumbo resistance. There's no way they're gumbo. Yeah, I was gonna say there's no fucking chance they're Gumbo resistant.
Oh yeah.
Must see players 3.
Andre Kramaric.
I think this is unfair though. Now that we go through the numbers, because I think the one thing you can give Hoffenheim when they're playing, their games are just fucking classics sometimes for no reason at all. It's mostly the end of the season. So they were less watchable than Hoffenheim? I don't know if I agree with that.
Who was less watchable than Hoffenheim?
No, they're
Bochum?
Heidenheim.
Oh. I think I would agree. I think I would agree that Hoffenheim, while I wouldn't say they were. Honestly, even though Heidenheim is in the relegation playoff, I wouldn't say they were a worse team than Hoffenheim this year.
Yeah, you're right. And plus, I think literally their atmosphere is fucking them over.
Yeah, their atmosphere is dead in the water.
Since we're running a little short on time, let's just hit the big ones that we want to hit here. Like Kiel,
Okay.
I think we can just Leipzig. Bro, this was an absolute failure of a season on every fucking level. Every level you can think of. It was a failure. Not making Europe by itself is an F. Fucking getting murdered in Champions League like this? F. And then literally Pokal is the only thing that went well for them. And they're supposed to do that, right? That's just their demon magic at work. Absolute F. How did they find a new pope faster than Leipzig found a new permanent manager? I don't fucking know. There's no way the pope position is easier to fill than the Leipzig manager position. Just F. And here's going to be the annoying part. Quality, 9. They have such a quality team. Identity, 1. That was their major issue. They kept changing from game to game. Wait, what do we give Dortmund? Okay, we got to give them a 5, too. Actually, lower.
No,
Atmosphere.
they were lower.
1. And just we legally have to give them a 1. Gumbo resistance. A 5. Must see players. 5. Meme ability. 5.
5.
Oh, also next one I wanted to hit, Leverkusen. What would you say for Leverkusen for a grade?
Of course it's hard to repeat as champions. Don't pay attention to Bayern the last 12 years. It's hard to repeat as champions. I honestly would agree with Nines North. I would say around a B. Because there were points of the season where Leverkusen just lost their identity completely.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know what the fuck drugs Alonso was doing, but, like, this stretch, he just did not want to play a striker. Like, are you good?
It was when Boniface got hurt for a point in the season, right? And
yeah. But still, you have fucking
Patrick
Schick.
Schick.
Yeah, you have
Schick did come in and tear the roof off the place several times during that stretch, but there's several draws on here that are
bad. Like Wolfsburg 0-0, Union Berlin 0. Like, come on, 1-1 to St. Paul, brother. Like, I think so. I think someone pointed. Maybe it was me. Some of those games, these draws would be wins last year. They would have found a way to win them, and for whatever reason this year, they just could not find a way to turn some of these draws into wins. But they still had like a decent season. Like anyone expecting them to have done what they did last year is just being unrealistic. Maybe not a B plus. No, but they did well in like every other cup competition.
They got to semis of Pokal.
But they ran into a Grim Reaper.
They ran into the Grim Reaper. They went out in round of 16 of Champions League to Bayern.
But they did poop the bed against Bayern. I think that does have to be considered, though.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I'm saying B minus.
Okay. Quality, extremely quality team.
Yeah.
Identity, I think this was their main issue. Whatever identity they had last year, they did not have this season. Atmosphere,
like a 4. I don't know. Maybe a 5 at times.
their atmosphere was so up and down. They're a team. I'm being unbiased. They're a team. You know the song like you only sing when you're winning. They're I think the epitome. Of
Yeah.
Like when they're winning, they have one of the best atmospheres in Germany. It might be a hot take. When they're losing, basically Hoffenheim. Leverkusen fans suck, but they show up. You're gonna have to give us a story on why they suck. I'm interested. That is the other thing too. They did not have the evil Leverkusen like end of the game magic this year. So their gumbo resistance was actually pretty low. They would fuck up some games in the last few minutes. The must-see players, obviously a 5, but they're going to be losing a lot of those players this summer.
Yeah.
And then meme ability 2.
And like a 2 or a 3.
Their ultras are transphobic.
Oh. Well, that's
bad. I'm gonna have to look into that one. Do you want to end this with Mainz or Stuttgart? I feel like Stuttgart would be a good segue.
I think we should end it with Stuttgart.
I do just want to hit on Mainz though. That's a B season.
I would agree.
That's a real B season.
I would agree with that.
Like they're really like consulting this again, bruh. They were also almost relegated last year, and they're in a European competition now. That's crazy. Actually, I even want to say a B plus. B because they did.
I'm
fuck
sticking
it up
with B. Yeah.
If they hadn't fumbled the bag at the end of the season, I think that would have been a B. Stuttgart. Tough. Very tough to...
It's very tough because they lost a bunch of people and they had an extra competition that they normally wouldn't. And their season definitely did suffer as a result. But I don't even know if I would say it suffered as a result because they were out of that competition by the time they started skiing.
Yeah, they
didn't get past the group stage of the Champions League.
January 29th. That is after the Mainz game. Oh yeah, no. There's no reason they should have felt like this. Have we done Freiburg yet? Yeah, we gave them an A. I gave him an A. B-Flem gave him an A-. This is bad if you think about this. Like, let's look at this. Lost to Gladbach.
I'm going to also put an asterisk on this one pending Saturday. But right now I'm feeling pre-Pokal, I'm feeling a D+.
I don't know if I'd give him that low. I'm going to say C+ because wait, I'll take that. There's so many 1-0. You have given a C-. Are you insane? What are you talking about? We're gonna have to send you what we said about them, but there's no way I'd give them any lower than A. C plus for me. I would have hoped in a year like this with the they just did lose so many good players. Still, though,
they still aren't a bad team though. That's my thing.
That's the thing, right? Like around this stretch, they had like half the team on the national team, and they just fucked up the last part of the season for some reason.
Yeah, like if I'm looking at the team, Mittelstadt, you still have Mittelstadt on the roster. Dynaxel Zagadou has played with big teams. Henri Chase was pretty solid. Enzo Mio.
Yeah, they have so much quality on this team.
They have quality. Denny Undav. Like, they have quality.
There's no way they should be rolling on a poke hall for Europe. Especially in a season like this. There's no way they should have been rolling.
I would say if they win the Pokal, it would go up to probably a C plus for me. I think that's how extreme.
Yeah, that's how much they need this. Because a lot of those players on those teams want to play Champions League, not sit at home. So, I put quality as an 8, identity as a 6. They have one of the best atmospheres in Germany, so 10 there. Gumbo resistance, what do we have? Extremely gumbo resistant. Must-see players, I think that's a 4. And then memeability. I don't know if they're memeable. I think they just had some sad moments. It was 3.
Yeah.
Mooley, to your point, we did give their overall season A's, but in terms of watchability, they are at Gladbach's level. Wait, so that verifies even more that we're right. Oh my god, beat them. Watch 50 plus donor. But you will not be able to anymore because we're getting off. Saturday, live show, pre-show, and post-show at Clio's. So if you're in Chicago, come join us. If you're not, come watch us. And we got to figure out what to do for... Oh, we have a thing to do next week. It's this.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you on Saturday, both virtual and in person. And